Hello, folks. It's Ron from Ron's Beer and Tools. As you can see in front of you, we have a Zima. Yeah, it's back. This is from, I was introduced back in 1993 and stopped production and brewing in October of 2008 in the United States and the rest of the world except for Japan. It still went to Japan. They enjoyed it. But this is it. This is our old memories back then. Zima. Everybody got a lot of laughs about it, and everybody tried it. And for all you folks who didn't try it, well, here's a review on it. They're now calling this a citrus beverage. Back then, it was called a malt liquor. But now, as you can see here, Zima, refreshing citrus beverage at 5% alcohol by volume. But they on their webpage, which it used to be always from 4.7 to 5.4. So this is right in the middle. Very depending on what part of the country you live in, or the old first releases. This is a limited release, as you can see. This one here is from last year, from November. I should say last year, but November, end of November 2017. So December, January, February, March, April, May. So it's about 5.5 to 6 months old. I've had it for my son picked this up for me. I've had it probably a couple of weeks. My number one son and his loving sweetheart picked this up, gave me a 6-pack of unique different beers and ales, and this was in there. Here's what the cap looks like. I remember back in '93, they first come out with the twist offs, and it was very hard to get off. Many of people a lot of guys threw the bottles away in disgust, full. They couldn't get the cap off. Now here it says malt beverage with natural flavors. Right here, if you can see it, you can pause it. Malt beverage with natural flavors, refreshing citrus beverage. And this was a little history on this. This is part of like folklore of Zima. Guy going out to get a couple of 6-packs and comes back with some Zimas and all the things that were said to the guy for doing that. Well, like I say, this was introduced in 1993 by Coors. And that went till October 2008, except for Japan. Basically, Zima, it was initially Zima Clear Malt, is what it was, by the Coors Brewing Company. And they had different ratings on the alcohol. It was 4.7 to 5.4, depending on what part of the country or what release it was going to. This came out June 2nd, 2017, on a limited release by Miller Coors, just in the United States. On this here, in 2000, when they were brewing this back, when it started in 1993, in 2000, they had variants of this. And I don't know if people know that. They had a citrus flavor, a tangerine, and a pineapple citrus. And it was kind to get, I guess, the attention of the wine drinkers. Because remember, there was a company called Bottles and James. Two guys did the commercials themselves. And they sold a kind of a flavored wine drink, Bottles and James. And I guess this was trying to go against it when they started putting those flavors in there. And at that time, if you can remember, I don't know, it was in the year 2000, within that area, a lot of drinks were going clear. They had Pepsi had a drink. Pepsi Cola was a Crystal, called Crystal, and that was like water, clear like this here. Clear Tab, a lot of the girls drank Tab for calories, watching your calories. But Tab also made a clear drink also. And there's a few other things that went around that were clear. It was very popular, this here, though, with the young women more so than the guys. So what they did, to have the males get on bandwagon and drinking it, they came out with a Zima Gold in 1995. Basically, it was an amber color beverage, and it was kind of advertised tasting like bourbon, so it would get the males thinking this was a girl's drink. And actually, there was a lot of men, and particularly, I can't think of his name now. It was on television late at night, calling it a girly man's drink. I wish I could remember the guy's name. It wasn't Steve Allen. It wasn't Jay Leno. And I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But anyway, he would have called it a girly man's drink. In 2017, though, this was very popular. It spiked up in sale 4th of July. For some reason, people bought this. It was a big hit. 4th of July, 2017. A number was sold. A number went to barbecues on the 4th of July of 2017. So it does have its up and downs because it is variable on when it comes out now. And let's see what else we can see on this. Zima actually is a foreign word. It comes from the Slavic and the Polish language, and it means winter. It actually means winter. So, all right, let's take a look at this here. Get a glass that we can. We got one over here. We got. Yeah, thank you. Okay, we got it. Brau. It's a German GB Gambrinus Brau. The German glass. Okay. No further ado. Now let's see if Ron is strong enough to get this off. Oh yeah. Alright, not too bad. If there's any water vapors. Well, here we go with the Zima. You know it's going to pour clear. It's going to have a head on it. It's frizzing like it's a tonic, or soda pop, as they say in some parts of the country, or soda. Looks like 7-Up. How clear it is. There's a lot of carbonation in this. A lot. Alright, let's get it together there. Zima, and it's clear. It's really clear drink. And they're saying it's citrus. So I don't know what kind of citrus is on this. Let's see if they say any other words on this. Basically, in 1993 is when it was introduced. But before then, naturally, they tried the product out. It was actually on the market in package stores, or as other people may call it, beer stores or beer shops. It was in those shops selling in Nashville, Tennessee, Sacramento, California, and Syracuse, New York. So evidently, it had enough of a following of people buying those in those 3 major cities. So, and so maybe if you back then you talked to someone and said, "Oh yeah, I had a," say you're talking to somebody from Syracuse, New York, and they say, "I had a Zima back in beginning of 1993. You'd be saying to them, "You're crazy. You're crazy. It didn't come out till later." But it did for those 3 cities. It actually did. Those folks had it. It must have been a hit because they went ahead and blew it across the country, and boom. People had their chance at Zima. Commercials were big. Because it was kind of, I don't know, people thought it was something so different, should you try it. Well, as we can see, it's pouring bubbly. Those bubbles coming up. Now, she's not going to have a head on it. It's clear. It's like a 7-Up. Like I said, I don't remember 7-Up or Sprite. Also 7-Up. I remember 7-Up. That tonic we had. But my aunt used to drink a lot of 7-Up. Now I remember it. The aroma, all right, let's try. Get a nose on it. Sweet. First thing comes across is sweet. Some citrus. Reminds me of a wine cooler, to tell you the truth. All right. No further ado. We see what it looks like. Let's give it a try. Excuse my gulping and slurping and lip smacking. I had to say it's drinkable. I got a candy. Excuse me, I got a candiness out of it. Candy, the sweetness of drinking candy. A bit of a citrus flavor. Like drinking lemon water with sugar in it. Really doesn't come across as a wine. Doesn't come across as a beer, ale, or even a malt liquor. Basically, the mouth feels like a 7-Up. Probably 7-Up mixed with some wine, white wine. Kind of like the Bottles and James coolers they had way back. I don't remember those commercials. But they were on television a lot. Two guys sitting on, I think it was might have been a tailgate of a vehicle, or a pickup truck. And they talked about their cherry and different flavors of their Bottle and James wines. I don't think I would get this again. It isn't something that seems too enjoyable. It's really hard, hard to put in words. A dry finish, definitely a semi-dry finish. I think it's something that definitely would not satisfy your thirst. You know, you're out there in the home from working hard, or out in the yard, working hard on a stressful day. You just want to pop the cap of a nice cold bottle of beer. And this isn't the kind of thing you would do this to. As you can see how it looks. That's something. I'm glad I had the opportunity to try it right now. I would probably pick this up. Definitely. We have a barbecue. Some friends over. I don't know if it comes in a 6-pack or how it comes, but I would buy some just for the fun of seeing people trying it and drinking it, and have that generation run amok with their Zima and see what they have to say about it and the jokes that come about. I remember a gentleman that was on television at night. Excuse me. His name was Dave Letterman. It was at nighttime. And I don't watch many night shows, but I used to watch Jay Leno. But anyways, Beer Advocate gives this a 2.54. So for 2.5, it's a rating of poor. I wouldn't expect anything other than that, really, from them. There's a number of ways you can rate things. This is really something that's different, something that would be enjoyable at a party, people trying it. But for sitting down and having a night and drinking a few of these, watching a hockey game, or a baseball game, or some golf, or even tennis. No, come Sundays when I'm watching baseball or hockey, it's got to be regular beer. It's got to be lager. But anyways, I thank my #1 son and his loving sweetheart for picking this up. It's nice to step back in time, because I do remember the commercials on Zima. Something, they used to say, something good. And the something refreshing, and they'd say spell the something with Z, something. Okay, but no further ado. Have a good day. Sun's out today here. It's a nice day in New England. It was a better day yesterday. It was warmer. But the sun's out, and that's what counts. Have a good day, folks. Ciao.